We had a great run for several years. It was expected that Doc Martens would release a tattoo-inspired 1460 and sometimes a 1461. So last year was the first year in a while that we didn't receive this. I suspect that it has something to do with the pandemic, has something to do with 2020, and there was probably even more things that, and more styles, more things meaning product and footwear styles specifically that maybe they intended to release before, you know, we ended up in shelter in place and adjusting to this type of living, which is you know, it's easy to understand, right? We still got a mess of amazing new styles, including all the ones that were released collaborating with other artists for every month due to us and Doc Martens celebrating 60 years of the 1460. I have these 4 styles. These are the ones that I personally own. There have been more of them. There have been a black version of the Tattoo Flash. There definitely was a 1461 of the psychedelic, the bright tattoo, and there was also a 1461, and I think a Mary Jane, and a platform of the tattoo sleeve. And then as far as the grays, I don't know what other ones there were of his, but there was also another run that went in collaboration at the same time with another tattoo artist. He's in New York City, and I think it was another tattoo artist in New York City as well. But since these are the ones I own, this is my experience, so I'm going to go ahead and dive right in. This is the Off-White Tattoo Flash Softy. Softy. When I think of Softy, I think of the Newton and other ones that are made almost like sneakers, and this is not it. This was, God, I want to say early 2010s, maybe 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. They also had a black version of this. I ended up scoring these after the fact, and I don't remember if Pascal was a thing. And as you probably heard me mention before, Pascal is how they would describe a pair of Doc Martens that is intended to be softer and have less, if no, break-in. Obviously, this goes contrary to having stiff leather that holds its shape for longer periods of time. So there's always a give and take with this. So I will say they're kind of flimsy, but not like Virginia leather. But I really dig these. You know, they have different classic flash, but then at the same time, it has a real like kind of rockabilly look, even down to how it has the swallows with the buzz clippers, and then the bulldog, which we've seen other Doc Martens with a bulldog. So what else is cool about this style is that it does have the yellow welt stitching on it, where some of the tattoo styles didn't have the yellow tattoo on it. Yellow stitching on it. I added these dark red laces. I thought that it was a good color pop for them and really elevated the design. They came with black laces. But let's take a look at all this. Let's take a look at all this flash. Pretty cool. Now, in this, you'll notice that we have a little surprise hidden that they did in a couple of styles, which is they actually included the original Oxblood 1460. So we'll notice that that is one of the flash pieces. We'll see that in the other styles that I'll show off too. The sole is the density that we would expect from a modern made in Asia, which is pretty much the same thing now as modern made in England's. Very comfortable. I would say that these had no break-in. They were good from the get-go. And they are specifically a unisex Doc Marten. By default, you can kind of assume that all Doc Martens are unisex, even though the ones that exclude the US men's size inside, sometimes they're created with a different size last that it more caters to quote unquote female shaped foot, whatever that means. I would just go with saying, siding on that they are unisex, and if the shoe fits, wear it. It's your shoes. I have different videos that go into unisex shoes and women's sizing. You can check out those. But one of the signs that I pointed out in the past is that the pull tab is actually the regular size. So it is the regular size in these, which in some of the women's, they will be small. All right, let's go off to the next one. Next up are the bright psychedelics. I have to admit, when I first saw these released, I was taken back. I felt that I don't know, man, they didn't feel like Doc Martens to me. And it took a long time for me to warm up to them, and now they're actually one of my favorite all-over prints. So when we're going into the all-over prints, just like the previous ones, the off-whites, they are actually not screened, so they have the full res print on them. I do have videos going over what to expect with all-over prints, and as we see with this one, which is again, it's a full res all-over print, which is done on what seems to be straw grain leather. So we have kind of, it looks like a dragon mixed with a swan, very like Japanese type print. And as I said before, the welt stitching is not yellow or gold on here. It's actually black. That's another thing that threw me off. I was, my palette when it comes to fashion and my palette when it comes to Doc Marten specifically, you know, after years, it just refines, you know. We live in a progressive world, right? And everything's improving on the next, but at the same time, you know, trying to respect what came before. So when it came to the welt stitching, I don't know if you guys can relate with me, but it was like, if it's not yellow or gold stitching, it's not a pair of Doc Martens. So that has definitely changed, especially when I've seen different collaborations come into place, and just the style is so cool and so fresh, and I think it's clever of how they've coordinated the colors that, you know what, bring it. I have vintage steel toes that have no welt stitching whatsoever, you know, and they're as much Doc Martens as anything else. So as mentioned, let's look around on here, but as mentioned, there is the 1460 original, which originally came in Oxblood. The Oxblood 1460 is hidden in the design. It's kind of like Doc Marten's own Where's Waldo in a way. I did say that the leather inside, it seems like it's straw grain, and the sole density is exactly what you would expect with a modern Doc Marten. Even though it does feel a little bit more dense than the softy one. I don't know if that is because it is a softy, but I assume it's just my fingers right now. Might be feeling it differently. But it is what we come to expect, and how the Doc Marten's airwear sole has progressed to the original intention, which is comfort, and being able to meet in you know, at those two strengths of comfort and durability, flexibility, safety, all those good things that we can expect from a work boot that has become this cultural icon, and now a cultural icon in fashion. So this is the psychedelic, the bright psychedelic tattoo. Let me add that all these tattoo designs are quite loved by collectors and fans. So if they do come up on resale sites, or if somebody has some dead stock and you do fall in love with them, it is not something to hesitate on. You want to jump on it. Eventually, people are going to buy them up. They're not going to exist, and it's going to be just more scarce. So if you dig it, get it. And these are pretty high up there in regards to demand. I will say I didn't get them at first, and trying to obtain them afterwards was a bit of a challenge, especially in this condition. We find that the ones that are just so spectacular, I mean, people just wear them. They wear them to the ground. So being able to find them where they are in reasonable shape after the fact is not easy. So this is the koi tattoo sleeve, and it, like I said before, it came in a 1461. It came in a Mary Jane and in a platform. There also was a little wallet, there was bags. A lot of these had different accessories, which Doc Martens does now, but more limited. You might not see them as much. And also, let's not judge what Doc Martens is releasing during the pandemic or any other company. And when I mean by judge, I mean assume something negative and take action on it. Everybody's kind of doing in businesses, and we all are doing what we can to keep balance and keep afloat. So I assume that once we get back to a social status quo that is more of the gathering way, I believe that we'll see a shift. Let's jump right into this very much beloved tattoo koi sleeve 1460. So let's continue our search for the 1460 oxblood. It's a little bit hidden on this. We have the koi fish, we have the peacocks, flowers. Quite a great look on these, and they're actually very hard to photograph. The color on this almost feels like it's made to look like skin in a way. So if we dig a little bit deep, it took me a bit, but we can finally see there's the oxbloods. So there's the 1460 oxbloods as they are on the other models that I showed. The sole density on these is what you would come to expect. And the welt stitching is black. As I mentioned before, the welt stitching on some of them were black, and I think that with these it really goes really well with it, and it accents and it elevates the design. So, tattoo sleeve. These are the latest ones that I got, that I was able to get. As I mentioned, that we didn't get a tattoo in 2020. Typically, they have been released around the back to school time, and we didn't get it. And these were released with they were kind of like an artist series. So these are the Grez, New York City. This is he is a tattoo artist. The tattoos, I think, out of King Street in New York City. And these are off-white like the others, but it's a different type of off-white. It's kind of more eggshell, and I think it really makes the designs on them pop. They really worked hard on this, where it has 2 designs on each, and I think it really works well to pay tribute to the overall shape of the 1460. So let's dive right in, and I'm going to bury the lead and just say there is no 1460 oxblood hidden on these, so we don't have that little fun game. On this side, we have this amazing tiger. Then we have the snake with the roses, dagger with some roses, and we have the eagle. For these, the welt stitching is yellow, and I think it goes really well with it. And the sole density, nothing new. It's exactly what we come to expect in a modern Doc Marten boot. These grew on me. I absolutely love them now. More because of the off-white. I think they work really well. I have a couple of pairs of white Doc Martens, and I kind of side more with the contrast with black stitching in white, just so it has a little bit more style. And both of the ones that I have right now are older Doc Martens. So this gives me some differentiation. Really dig them. They really look great with black pants, just to give them its due, but of course you wear them with what you want to wear them. I'm actually thinking about switching the laces on here like I did with the other ones with dark red. I think that it would look pretty cool and go with the red that's in here. So, Doc Marten's tattoo styles. Again, hope we get one in 2021 or we get one soon. I think that it's a winning combination, especially when we get these cool artist collabs. I think that's really neat. But the designers at Doc Martens definitely know what they're doing. They really do a fantastic job. There's very rare occasions where they don't hit this out of the park. So we got the flash, we have the psychedelic brights, and the tattoo sleeve with the koi, and then we have the artist edition, the Grez, over here, which these are my personal favorites and the ones that I own. So, you know, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for joining. If you liked the video you just saw or wanted to add something to it, go ahead and click on the like and the comment button down below. Also, if you wanted to keep up with all the videos that I create, subscribe, and then once you subscribe, you can tap on the bell and then you'll receive an email. So you're always kind of in the know. I mean, you watched it, right? So I guess you liked it. You gotta tell the, you know, algorithms what to show other people and what people are interested in. And besides that, I need validation. I need to know that I'm making something that people actually enjoy and want me to continue making more of, right? What do you think, Cherry? Yeah? Think they should do it? Yeah, she thinks so.